Hello and welcome to DCP SideQuest episode number 123, the first episode of 2022. A whole bunch of numbers in there. Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
We made it. We made it through 2021. I didn't know if we were gonna. I thought we would lose some. We only lost Eric, so that's not too bad. 1 out of 4. That's pretty good odds.
Eric's is still in a weightlifting competition right now.
Yeah,
right now, still. He's been
like
in there for 2 weeks.
2-month-long situation. It's a true
It's an
test
endurance
of skill.
competition.
Yeah,
It's not a lot of weight, but it's for a long time.
Yeah. It's the long haul, as they call it. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, how are you guys? We've been off for 2 weeks, right?
Refreshed. That's how I feel.
That's good. Good to hear. Watts, how
Yeah.
about
you
you?
know, I'm feeling pretty good. We had snow here from like Christmas Eve until a couple days ago.
In Seattle?
So-
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I wasn't able to leave the house really at all. Not that I want to, but you know,
Yeah, not
Yeah.
that bothers you at all.
not that I really want to go into the outside world right now. I'm avoiding it so much.
Right. Yeah.
Not going anywhere.
Yeah, it's a bit spicy outside recently. Yeah.
It is.
All them things that are
No,
happening.
We got snow here too. We got like a foot, and I realized that apparently my plow guy has quit. I don't know. He doesn't do
He
that
said,
anymore.
I know plow. I know
Because
plow.
he
no
didn't
more."
come. I called him. He didn't answer the phone. So I'm guessing that he just doesn't do that anymore.
Maybe he got the Omicron, man. That's why he's not coming.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Could
yeah,
be.
maybe. That's possible. You know that
I feel
like
bad about making fun of him. Because I've been going hard on him for the last 3 days.
Jeez, Briar. Jeez.
you know like if your FedEx deliveries have been delayed, apparently like half of the staff have COVID and can't work. So
Oh, from FedEx.
Really?
And they're so
Crazy.
reliable, FedEx. Now, am I the bad person for making fun of them for being unreliable? Yet half of them have
Probably.
COVID. Hmm.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm going to give you a pass on that one.
Thanks, Briar. I knew you'd understand. Oh man, what'd you guys do over the break? Anything
I played a
exciting?
shitload of video games, actually.
Nice.
Yeah?
I went hard on video games. With Retro Slot, Jay and I's next game is that we're going to be talking about on Retro Slot is Street Fighter 2
Oh,
for the
nice.
Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
So I've been playing a bunch of that because we're going to talk about 2 different versions. I want to know the 2 different versions of them. So
Turbo.
I've been playing a bunch of Street Fighter. Yep.
Yep. I think that's one I
Um,
had was Turbo. I cut my teeth. I had many tears shed from my brother beating me at Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did that ever like break down into an actual fist fight?
No, because he was 10 years older, so I couldn't actually fist fight him. Like,
Yeah, so you're-
I think I
hit
probably
him?
tried to hit him. I probably did. But he's like a Scotsman and I'm an Irishman, like genetically by the looks of it. He's like big, you know. So that was never gonna happen.
My friends and I definitely threw some punches IRL due to Street
Oh,
Fighter
no.
outcomes.
Yeah, and then at one
and
point,
also,
at one point, I finally got better than him, and then he just stopped playing the game.
he just stopped playing.
Yeah.
Quit.
And I was like, "Come
same thing
on,
happened with my
man!"
brother, actually.
Yeah?
In Tekken. Yeah.
Yeah,
He was just
I
like
love some
amazing.
Tekken.
He spammed like one combo. I figured out what it was after a little bit, and then he stopped playing with me.
What character was it? What character did he
Yoshimitsu.
play?
oh,
Oh,
Yoshimitsu.
did
yes,
he have
of
that
course.
10-hit combo?
Yes.
Yeah,
Remember how Yoshimitsu used to be able to commit suicide?
Yeah.
He'd stab himself through the stomach with the sword, and if it hit you, it was an instant kill.
I forgot about that. Wow.
Yeah, so you'd see people just running after you, just trying to like stab themselves through you. It's very fun.
Was it the first Tekken for the PlayStation?
I think he's had that move. I don't know if it was an insta kill in other ones. I'm not sure if it was.
Yeah, I
an
don't know if it was
Yeah.
an instant kill either. It was a high
But then,
damage.
but then like
move. I
just
don't know if
like
it was
yeah,
an
they
instant kill.
kept it in there, and I was always like, what's the point of me like doing this to myself? What's the point?
I don't know. It's just like I'm gonna own
It's to
you
taunt them.
move.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
to taunt
Yeah.
them.
That's great.
Or you do that at the beginning of a match, so you start off with like half life,
Mm.
and then you whip his ass. What was your character in Tekken?
I've played a few. Julia, I really liked. Nina, I played a good amount of, and Jin as well. Played a
Jin
good
was
amount of
good. I like Jin. Jin turned into a devil, right?
Yes, Devil Jin. Yep.
I like that. And he could fly up in the air and shoot
He could
laser
fl-
beams out
yeah,
of
he
his
could
eyes.
fly and shoot lasers at you.
Yeah.
Seems a
Pretty
little
cool.
OP. I'm not gonna lie.
It reminds me I haven't played Tekken in so long. I actually don't remember the names
Yeah.
of the characters. I think I was decent with the guy who's the tiger helmet.
King.
Oh
King.
yeah, King.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that
Yeah,
was my
he was
go-to
awesome.
character. I knew a fair amount of the combos. Yeah.
I really liked Martial Law, who was like the Bruce Lee guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He did
Yeah.
the sounds like Bruce Lee, which
He
I won't
did.
imitate now as a fear of getting canceled. And then who was it? Who was the big bad guy? Hoshimitsu? No. Who was he had bald head, but he had hair that like kind of went up like that.
Yeah.
Oh, Heihachi.
Heihachi.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. My
That's
buddy liked to play him, and
that
it was
guy.
constantly me fighting him with
He's
Law.
annoying to play against. He was really annoying.
Yeah, he's badass.
And
I
then
haven't thought
there
about
was-
Tekken in a while.
Yeah.
I know, right? I'm like, oh, I remember all these things are just in my brain. What are they doing there? Brain,
Yeah.
why are you holding on to
He's
it?
living
What's
rent
the
free.
And then there was the girl who was like Yoshimitsu's sister or something, where she had like the cat mask.
Mm-hmm.
She was cool.
I don't remember her. She must have been in a later one.
She was, yeah.
There's been so
I
many.
played
though.
1
So
and
many.
2 a lot, and then I don't think I really like after they did the tag battle one.
Kunimitsu.
Kunimitsu?
Kunimitsu, yeah. She's a ninja, of course.
Yeah, but naturally. Yeah.
Speaking of weird Japanese stuff, I've been playing a ton of Tales of Arise.
Do tell,
And man,
Briar.
Imagine a Japanese person saw a pride flag for the first time and said, I'm going to make a game just using all those colors all the time on the screen all at once.
And yelling about it constantly.
Yeah.
Yelling about how cool it is.
Yeah. The game is gorgeous. It's not like technically the best looking game I've ever seen in my life, but just like the art of it and like the color usage. I was at a point, sometimes if you start watching the news these days, you can get a little like dour, right? You're like, oh, they're shooting piss up their nose. Who knows what's going to happen next? And I just needed something. I'd also been playing a lot of Dark Souls. And I just needed something a little lighter and something a little more fun. So Watts, you had talked about this game earlier this year when it came out, right?
Yep. Yeah, and Eric's
Did
was
Eric's
like
play it too?
Yeah, Eric's loved it. Loved Tales of Rise. Could only talk about how amazing it was.
Yeah. So I tried it out, and this game, a lot of action RPGs or a lot of Japanese RPGs, they start out and they're slow, right? It takes forever for them to get rolling. This game, man, it gets you going right off the bat. Like, here's your main character. You don't know shit about him, but you're fighting. And you're a slave and you're fighting your oppressors. Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
And the first few hours are like, I think you fight your first boss in like the first couple hours.
Nice.
You beat a couple of people that are going to be in your team. You find this like interesting dynamic between you are the man in the iron mask, and your first companion, your main companion, is a woman who is one of there's 2 races in the game. There's like the slaves and the masters. They're from different planets, but the planets are really close together. Like you can, just hop between them. Apparently, I don't know. And so your companion is one of the masters. You're one of the slaves, but you work best together because you can't feel any pain for who knows what reason, and she has a flaming sword that you can pull out of her chest. But it burns you while you're using it, so that would hurt a lot to hold it. But since you don't feel any pain, you're perfectly matched together, right?
What a symbiotic relationship.
You can hold the fire.
The story is interesting. It's kind of like all over the place, but it does some cool stuff, right? Because the whole game is you're basically like, you're working through these different realms. There's like, I think 5 different realms, and you're trying to free each one of these realms, and you go to each one of them. And the first 2 are pretty standard. It's like, there's a bad guy. We got to kill the bad guy to free the realm. But the third one, it's like, wait a minute, the guy who runs this place is actually kind of running a utopia. So like, what do we do in this situation? This is interesting. So it's like, that's all good fun. And the story's, I don't know, for the most part, fun. Like, some stuff doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but just don't pay too much attention. It's like any sci-fi.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm really enjoying it. The combat is, It reminds me a little bit of playing Guardians of the Galaxy, where I wasn't too into the combat, but it wasn't so bad that I couldn't get through it. You know, it's just kind of boring-ish. It was fine. You know, sometimes I put out. There's an automatic mode, so you can just kind of let it do its thing.
Autopilot in combat.
Yeah,
I like
and
trying
just
to
get to
pull
the
off the
story.
big combos.
Yeah, the big
combo
combos are
numbers.
awesome, but they
Like
kind
the
of
big
happen by
combo numbers.
themselves, right? It's like it just
Yeah.
says, "Okay, you can do a big combo now," so you hit the button and do a big combo.
This
I don't know.
seeing
I
you
like it a
talk
lot.
about
It's
it.
a lot of fun. I put like
Yes.
20 hours into it.
Oh, nice. I was tempted over the break. I was like, I kind of want to. Briar's talking about it. I was thinking about getting it, but then I'm like, man, I feel like Game Pass might be grabbing this soon. So I was like, I ended up waiting.
Seems like a kind of a game that would end up on Game Pass. Totally. I bought it for the PS5. It looks pretty good. Like it's,
Oh, nice.
You know,
Yeah.
it's one of those games that has two modes, like the performance mode and like the high fidelity mode or whatever. 30 FPS or 60 FPS. And
Yeah.
I can't tell the difference visually between them, except for that one of them runs 60 FPS. So why not use that one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, it's a fun game. And then you find like the owls, the owl home
Yeah.
of the owls.
Yeah, those
You're
are
like,
cute because
this is cute. What's going on here?
yeah, you find owls like kind of around. It's funny too because they go hoot hoot, like clearly like a person
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
the words hoot hoot.
Yeah,
You
it's
gotta
not
be
like an owl
"Where is
sound.
it?"
And it's various different hoots too, like different human hoots. One's just like hoot, hoot. One would be like hold, hold. You're like, oh, this is hilarious, and I love it.
It's really charming though, like
It
the
is,
way they
yeah.
do that. And then when you find an owl, each owl has like kind of like a distinct like accessory, like devil horns or like a rabbit tail or something. And then when you find that owl, you get that accessory and you can put it on your characters.
Yep.
And so all my characters have like rabbit ears or
Yep.
glasses or
That's the way.
tails or shit like
Yep.
that, which make the cutscenes hilarious because they're really like, oh, you know, I just killed my father and it's just awful and I'm so depressed about it. And like it's like rabbit ears, just like
Sounds full on weeb. Going
Oh,
full weeb.
it is
Briar.
full on weeb. It's pretty fun though.
It is.
You know, it definitely does that Japanese storytelling thing where they can never like have a long enough conversation to just get the shit they need to get out in the open. So they got to just like pensively like not talk about the shit for like fucking 6 hours.
Yeah.
You know? So like, all right, come on, we all know what's going on here. Just like say it out loud so we can get past this. But you know, they got 40 hours to fill. So
Got to hold on to that drama.
yeah, I think the only thing I really don't like about this game is the microtransactions because like every time you pause the game, it shows like a flashing star, and it's like most stuff is like if you go into like the tutorials, it'll have a flashing star, but if you look at the tutorial, it'll just go away, right? So the flashing star isn't there to annoy you anymore. But for the DLC stuff, it never goes away. You can't scroll through it to make the flashing star go away, and it's got DLC costumes for characters that you don't get until like 20 hours into the game and completely spoil that for you if you look in there. Like there is a pretty big pivotal like character that like you wouldn't think would join your party unless you happen to look at why is this thing blinking at me constantly. Oh, wait a minute. I know who that is. It's the guy that's going to be in my party because I can buy costumes for him.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was suckered into buying the DLC costumes because
The swimsuits?
no, not the swimsuit.
Oh, me neither. Me neither.
Because of the there was an outfit for one of the characters that is the same as the character from Code Vein. And I was like, you sons of bitches. And so I bought it.
You got me, you bastard.
You got me. How dare you bring up that game? No one talks about the game anymore. So I was like, oh, Code Vein?
Code Vein?
Nice. I can look like Code Vein in Tails. Love it. They got me.
Yeah, this is a fun game. It's pretty lighthearted. You know, it deals with some pretty heavy topics, but it's kind of I don't know. It's lighthearted enough, like, and it's colorful that like it feels like a good retreat from more hard things that we're dealing with this in the world. Even
And
though
the
it's about
character-
slavery and oppression.
Yeah. The character interactions are really fun as well. Like they'll have chats like when you go and sit by the fire to save your game or cook some food, they'll like talk to each other and that's fun. It's normally
Nice.
Yeah.
fun interactions.
Yeah, you can choose like who you want to talk to at fires too to like kind of strengthen your relationship. And then it does this cool thing where it just like kind of happen. You're walking around, all of a sudden the R1 button pops up, and like if you tap R1, you'll get like a story cutscene that is done in engine, but in this kind of comic book visual style. So like they just kind of like draw a frame around something and like make that like a frame of the comic book, and then tell a quick story, a couple minutes long. But it kind of gives you more depth into the characters. Sometimes I feel like some of them are not repeated, but like the conversation is duplicate to a conversation that just happened. Like we've used different words, but we're talking about the same shit, and we've come to the same conclusion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, overall, I really like it. I think it's a fun game. It's a nice, lighthearted game about slavery.
Yeah.
It's cool. Well, it's on my list after hearing about it so much from you guys.
Yeah, it's very fun.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Tomo played It Takes Two over the Christmas break.
Nice.
Took
Memes
a
and
while
I
to
are
finish
currently
it.
playing it too.
That game is long.
Yeah.
Longer than
Is
expected.
it?
Yeah, you get.
How long is it?
Yeah.
I think because you get to a point where you're thinking you're getting close to the culmination, and then it's like, actually, that's the halfway point.
I think it's
Really?
like 14, 17 hours or something like that. Which for like a pure co-op game is pretty long. Because
Yeah.
like co-op games
Yeah.
tend to be a bit short because obviously you need the two people there.
Mhm.
But
Right.
yeah, this is like a solid amount of time for a co-op game.
Yeah, is there any kind of single player option in there at all? Like an AI
No.
does the other person stuff? No, like so you have to have another person always to
Yeah.
play the game.
That's why when you buy the game, you can like have a friend play with you for free. Because you need the other person.
It's the
You can play
only
online
way.
It's
Yeah.
not just couch co-op. It can be played online.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Memes and I
Yeah.
are playing. Oh yeah, I'm sure you and Tomo are playing couch co-op also, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's highly creative, right?
Yeah, it's really fun. I was listening to Skill Up's kind of not review of it, but he was doing like his kind of top 10 games of 2021. And he described it as It Takes Two is like they just went around the studio and asked everyone to make their own level. And they never said no. They were just like, sure, let's do that. So
That
you
sounds
just
like Titanfall 2.
you end up with all these like pockets of experiences. So it's like every genre, it's every game, just in these little pockets of experiences. And they do them all so well, like all the
Yeah.
different genres and stuff. They do it really, really well.
Yeah, we got to the Diablo part, and Memes was like, "This,
Yeah.
I want the whole game to be like this."
Yeah, I was like, there's a dungeon crawler in here?
She's like, "This is my favorite part. I want the entire game to be like this. This is awesome." Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really awesome experience through all of it. And I think playing with a partner is especially special. Because obviously you could play with friends, obviously. But playing it with a partner is because it's about a couple going through divorce. And like the whole story is essentially them like trying to they're not trying to get closer together, but they're getting closer together.
Is it like pro or against divorce?
Against. Divorce
It's
is
against.
evil. Yes, that's
Oh.
the theme. Yeah. Divorce sex. It's about finding love. It's about rekindling
Yeah.
your love and realizing why you liked the person initially.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
It's all just based off of sex in the end.
There's a book of love that's guiding you.
Yes, Book of Love. It's such a fun. It's a really, really well done game.
Yeah, it's really well
Really
done. I think
I'm
that's
jealous.
what it is.
I'd like to play that.
Yeah, it's a unique take. I don't know if it's unique specifically. I guess it's unique, right?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all the mechanics in the game aren't necessarily new or anything like that, but you're right in that they do a really good job of blending all of that together. Because initially, you're playing through and you get some new tools, and you're thinking, "Oh, so I have like a nail all the time, or you have a hammer all the time, right?" Like you think that's what you got, like that's your tool set, but then it goes away, and then you get other tool sets in other levels. So it's like it keeps you mentally excited to see what other puzzles are going to show up. Sometimes they have a lot of puzzles. It's kind of like, okay, I get like what type of puzzles you're trying to make us solve here. Other times the puzzles are really, really fun to try to crack. Also, like that balloon world was really cool, where you float. You got the fidget spinner and you're floating
Yeah, the
everywhere.
fidget spinner
It
was
was great.
great. And it's really interesting because they use a lot of, British influence in the toys they show
Yeah,
and stuff. So with me kind of growing up as a kid in England, I was like, "Why does this all feel so familiar? What's going on?" I'm like, "Wait, I had that in the bath. That was my bath toy." And then I'm like, "Oh wait, I had those as a kid." So as I was playing this game, it was just like unlocking childhood memories the whole way through as well. So
Oh man.
it's really
yeah,
cool. And
that's
just
great.
the way that they have you work together. It's kinda genius because it's never frustrating in a
Hmm.
working together way. It's very natural and intuitive of how you would work together.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, they did it really good, really
Well, they
well.
did a good job also with like checkpoints and stuff, and not make it like, oh, you have to retrace your entire level experience here if one person screws up or something like that. They make it so it's it's an approachable like thing for people to achieve, regardless of skill levels and all that, which is nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm reading chat. There's a few like Rip Queen Elephant. That was actually pretty sad. Yeah,
I was just going, "This is awful. I hate this."
yeah,
I I was like, "What are we doing?"
yeah. That made me
I was
uncomfortable.
I
I
was
was
very
like, "Oh
uncomfortable.
my god!" But the way that they like wove those the toys and also real life stuff, like the Wasp Civil War with the squirrels and all
Yeah,
that. It was another comment chat that I thought that was really well done and awesome. And like you had like
yeah.
these militant squirrels that were extremely technical. It's like what?
Yeah,
It's amazing.
it was awesome, and you've got, like, planes that you fly and birds that you fly individually and things that you slide on, and it's a really awesome experience that I think, people should try and experience if you have someone that's down to play with you.
Yeah.
Um, it's really good.
Yeah. I could definitely see why it got Game of the Year.
Yeah.
For it like again, the creative side of it, it was probably one of the most creative games I've played in a long time for how
Yeah.
many genres and just like the level storytelling, and it's really well done in that sense.
And you have those moments where you're like, "Oh my god, it's a dungeon crawler. Oh my god, it's Space Invaders. Oh my
Hmm.
god, we're playing chess?" It's like, so many of those moments where you kinda realize what they're doing, and they do it so well, and they
Yeah.
put it in this game, and it's completely approachable for so many people because
Yep.
it's not super punishing if you mess something up. If you do die, you, like, go right back to kind of where you were initially. So you it's super not punishing, which
Yeah.
is great.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Great all around.
Yeah. Good stuff. Definitely recommend it, and it's on Game Pass.
It is on Game Pass.
So there you go. If you got Game Pass, you got It Takes Two. Grab another controller and get a co-op, buddy.
Yep.
You know what's an interesting side effect of Game Pass is that if you buy some retail games, Halo, the new Halo Infinite and Horizon 5 are part of these, you don't get the game on the disc. You get parts of it, but you have to download the rest of the game, which
I
is
think it's
kind of
been that
concerning from
way,
like a game preservation point of view.
right? I feel like
Mm.
it's been that way for a while though, even regardless of Game Pass, where like a big chunk of the game still exists on a server that you have to get. Well, I guess updates have always been
Most
that way.
games, like you can play the game by putting the disc in the system if you don't have the internet. Like you might not be getting like a day one patch, which kind of sucks, but
Yeah,
like usually you
interesting.
get a playable version of the game. But
So those games specifically, you had to download like another half of the game for it to even work.
Mm.
yeah, that's what I understand. Yeah, I didn't buy either one of them because I
Huh.
have Game Pass, but
Well, they are online games as well, so it's like Destiny wouldn't
I
even
mean
let
there
you
is a
load it up if.
story to Halo, and like you don't necessarily need to be online to play Forza, do you? I mean, it enhances your gameplay, but
It's pretty social. They want you to see other people doing stuff and like numbers and
yeah.
like you join so and so and some sort of thing.
My
Yeah.
favorite part about being online with Forza was just seeing like, oh, Fran is in this race, and he's a dirty fucking racer, and he crashes into me all the time, motherfucker.
So I do agree though, the preservation side of things, where it's like yeah, it's like what's going to happen once these formats have, or it's evolved into a new format and these aren't supported anymore. Different architectures, like let's say a different CPU architecture that doesn't have emulation for these older, or quote unquote older from what today is. You know, I am concerned about that, where that ultimately goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But maybe at that point, you really can own an NFT and have that skin go with you to any game you ever play.
Yeah, it's completely reasonable.
Completely reasonable.
I saw a tweet from someone who's at Bungie, and they were like, just taking something from Destiny 1 and putting it into Destiny 2 takes months and tens of people. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
I've started
Well, I
just
can make
blocking.
an NFT out of it by just putting a JPEG of it on the internet. So
There you go.
I
Easy
win.
peasy.
I've just
Who
started
wants to start
blocking
bidding on the
people.
Gallahorn
No,
NFT?
I will block you, Bri. I just started blocking people. Anyone who says things positively about NFTs, I'm like, I'm just gonna block you. I'm not talking about it anymore.
I
Unless a
feel like you've
company.
probably blocked me once already.
No. No.
It can't be the first time. I pulled out my Nintendo. What's it called?
3DS?
The new Nintendo 3DS XL. Because I was so in love with Metroid Dread that I decided to play Return of Samus, which is the previous Metroid that was developed by the same developers who did Metroid Dread. And I gotta tell you, it has not been fun trying to play this game on the analog stick that's on the 3DS.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, my hands are not huge, but like this thing is like basically a torture device for my hands. Like the cramping is unbelievable.
Next level
but
cramping.
I do like the game. Like it is quite fun, and it's something that I actually owned for a couple of years, but I'd never really got to play. So I decided to put it into an emulator and play it on my PC. And it is real good. That is a pretty nice experience. You can play it at 4K because it is a polygonal game. It's a 2D polygonal game, 2.5D, I guess you would call it. And it runs super good. And because it's just the map that's on the second screen of the DS in this game, it's super easy to play it like on one screen, right? So I've been having a lot of fun with that game. I own a copy, so I don't feel bad about emulating it.
Can you put on your analog
not
pocket?
that you should, really. Anyway, I didn't get an analog pocket, and no, the
my
analog
bad.
pocket does not play 3DS games. It only plays cartridges from the Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance, and Game Gear if you have the adapter for the Game Gear.
Got it.
It has not been jailbroken yet, so you cannot play like NES, Super Nintendo, Genesis, or any of that stuff on it yet. And at this point, I don't know that they're going to jailbreak it. Like, it's kind of like, what's going on here? Usually when they analog releases one of these devices, it's jailbroken in like a week or two.
Maybe Christmas break? People on holiday?
I don't know. To me, that's part of the big attraction of that device is being able to play, Super Nintendo or Genesis games on it. But we'll see.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys happen to see that the PSVR2 has been announced?
I wanted to talk about this because I'm actually excited about a VR experience for once.
Are you buying a house in the metaverse?
No.
That's Oculus.
That's Oculus, yeah.
The PlayStation Meta Zone?
Wait, is it connected to Meta?
No.
I think it's just Sony.
They did like a presentation on this, and they really leaned into like gaming. Like it wasn't about like social or anything like that. They really did lean into gaming, which was encouraging. I didn't know actually if they were going to do another VR headset after the PSVR for the PlayStation 4, because that thing was pretty successful, but like it sold a lot of headsets. Famously, the most headsets out of any of the VRs that were in that early wave of VR. But like eventually, as the PS4 kind of, started slowing down a little bit and the PS5 came out, like I haven't seen a PSVR on store shelves in forever. I don't even know if they still sell it.
I mean, if the new one's been planned, they probably pulled
Yeah.
back on production on that.
So I didn't know. I didn't know are they going to do another one? But they are, and it looks dope. It's got basically 4K resolution, which is I think the highest resolution of any of like the main VR headsets. So like the Valve Index is 1600 by 1440 per eye. The PSVR is 2000 by 2040 per eye.
Yeah,
It has
amazing.
an OLED screen in it, which is awesome. It also has inside-out tracking, so you're not going to have to set up cameras or lasers in your room. It just, it's got cameras on the headset, and it tracks your hands using the cameras on the headset itself. It plugs into your PlayStation with one USB cable. That's the only connection it needs to the PlayStation, which is a huge improvement over the previous PSVR, which had this like breakout box and like a million cables to it, and like if you had an early one, you couldn't pass through HDR, so you had to unplug it every time you wanted to play on your TV. It was like real pain in the neck stuff. It's got eye tracking, which means that it'll actually be able to track your eyes inside the headset and use where your eyes are pointed to really focus like the power of the PlayStation to render that area with more detail, and then where in your peripheral vision will have less detail rendered, which means it'll be able to increase frame rate and theoretically have more detail rendered where you're looking, which is actually really incredible technology.
Yeah.
It's got a pretty wide field of view. It has an audio, like a headphone jack. It doesn't have like built-in speakers or anything, which is kind of disappointing to me.
Too bad.
One of my favorite things about the Valve Index is it has like near field speakers that like hang over your ears a little bit, which sound great, but also are just like kind of built in. Just makes it easy to put on, take off, and not have to fuck around with it a bunch. It is corded. You do need obviously a PS5, and we don't know the price yet. We also don't know if it's going to be backward compatible with PS4, PSVR games.
Oh, interesting.
Which, if you think about it, seems unlikely because the way that thing needed a camera on top of your TV, and then it uses those motion controllers. Like a lot of games required you to put those up and like show them to the camera. This thing's got its own controllers. They look a lot like the Oculus Quest controllers, which basically have two analog sticks on them. It can track if your fingers are touching it. It has touch-sensitive controllers, touch-sensitive like pads on it, so it knows if you're gripping it or if your hand is open. It's really high tech. I don't know how much this thing is going to cost, but it seems like it's on par with like the Valve Index, which is going to cost you about $1,000. I don't think PlayStation is going to charge $1,000.
They can't charge $1,000 for that.
Yeah, they wouldn't be able to.
I feel like they could charge as much as the PS5 and get away with it because it's going to be a premium VR experience, right? The 4K OLED, like the resolution, and also said like 90 to 120 hertz per eye. So like the resolution plus the frame rate plus the fact that it's OLED plus all these nice things that have been redefined, like that seems seems awesome.
Expensive.
It does seem expensive, but also seems like a matured VR experience for a console that a lot of people are actually interested in buying. So you don't have to have a 3090 in a computer to be able to then run your Valve Index stuff,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. This is the first time I've ever actually been excited about a VR kit, and seeing them checkmark this stuff like 4K OLED, the frame rates, just simple one cable connection, all that, and no setting up a bunch of cameras. Like I'm excited about it. Legitimately excited.
I am too. I mean, I'm kind of price sensitive on this one because I already have a Valve Index. Like if this is around $400 to $500, I think I'm just like sold day one. I'm in. Like, I'd like to see what the software's going to be, but assuming there is software, I'd love to see like a Half-Life Alyx port for the PlayStation 5 to go along with it day one. Maybe not day one, but there were some cool PSVR games. There has been rumors of maybe a Resident Evil Village like DLC that allows for VR, which would be dope because Resident Evil 7 is still one of my favorite VR experiences ever. Yeah. And that's still locked to the PlayStation 4, unfortunately.
It is fascinating how like the backwards compatibility is even more of a headache. I mean, the more complex the input and the VR experience, I'm sure the more complex it is to make it last through different generations and all that. And that's even more of an issue. Like you talk about game preservation. If you get an amazing VR library, like that preservation is going to be very
you
difficult.
still play it on your old PSVR.
Yeah, but what if that breaks, down the road? You don't have access to
Yeah.
that hardware anymore. So.
Yeah. It'd be nice if they would update the games to just have compatibility, like throw a PS4 disc in there and have compatibility.
Sure,
update
yeah.
it.
Maybe it's another thing of maturing the software and the protocols to be able to have better compatibility down the road.
I think you're right. As all of these headsets mature, like hopefully there will be more standards as far as we're gonna put analog sticks on both controllers. We're gonna have, we're gonna be able to know if the hand is open and closed. We're gonna know, triggers. We're gonna know, all that stuff. Because the motion, the PSVR was kind of patched together to be as cheap as it was from parts that people already had. Like the camera, a lot of people already had. The motion controllers were from the PS3, right? It's like it's kind of like this weird, like they got it all to work, mostly.
Yeah.
And they got it as cheap a price point as they could get it, which I think was smart. Now I really want to see them like put all the pieces together like really nicely.
Yeah, and have some amazing software that is like you have to buy this because.
Did you guys see the Horizon demo that they did?
No,
actually, I didn't.
I don't think I did.
They did they had some demo software. It was, I can't remember the name of it, but it was Horizon Zero Dawn, right? It was like that universe, but they're making a PSVR game in that universe.
Wow.
And
nice.
It looked like it was using the new engine for Forbidden West because all the assets were super high quality, which is important in VR because you can get right up close to every texture when you're in VR. So quality textures, quality assets are a big deal. I don't know. It'd be nice if we just started seeing some add-ons for games. Like if we make a third-person game, hey, let's make this VR. Like Hellblade did that. Resident Evil 7 did that. Let's.
Yeah.
It's not that hard
to do Ghost of Tsushima in PSVR.
There you
just
go.
I am
that would be
100%
scary. I'd be like,
sold.
oh, don't hit me.
Like doing parries and sword-based combat, though?
Ooh,
that would be hella cool.
That would be really cool. I feel like a samurai.
Yeah, I'd be up for
you can count me out on the raid night, though.
You want to go do the raid?
No.
That's true. You go into the spooky realm 1v1 with what's her face?
All that like blood and stuff, like the dripping spookiness. Yeah. Whew. I got a question about the Oculus 2, right? I mean, I'm assuming you've used it, right?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Quest
2?
Yeah. So obviously it's a Facebook thing or a Meta thing.
Yeah.
And it's what you have to use if you want to use the Meta or whatever that crap is.
Yeah. I don't know much about that Meta stuff. Like I don't pay attention to it.
Yeah.
A great thing happened to the Oculus Quest 2 in that Facebook had a glitch that caused people not to be able to log into Facebook, and that created a glitch where people couldn't log into the Oculus Quest 2, which now Facebook is saying, okay, we're going to allow you to use your Oculus Quest without having a Facebook account.
Awesome.
Which is huge, right?
Yeah.
Because that was my biggest hang up with the Oculus Quest 2.
Yeah.
I don't want a Facebook account.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
I have used the Oculus Quest, not the Quest 2, and it's awesome because it's all in one unit. The processor is actually in the face mask so that you load games. Like it's not, you don't have to be connected via wires to anything. So it's a completely wireless VR experience. The headset is actually pretty light and the graphics are pretty good. You can play Resident Evil 4 on that thing and it's a pretty cool experience.
Interesting. Yeah.
It's a really nice device. It's really cheap. It's $299. Really cheap, for a VR experience.
For VR, standalone.
It's an all-in-one experience. It comes with the controllers. $299 is a great deal.
Does it have storage and everything? Like you load games onto it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you load games right onto it. Yeah.
Interesting. It's like a handheld experience, but you put on your head.
Yeah. I mean, it runs basically like a cell phone processor in there. So you're not going to get like cutting edge, PC or PlayStation 5 graphics. You're going to get Resident Evil 4.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's good though. I mean, I played on the original Quest. Me and my kids played the Star Wars Vader Immortal games. I think that's what they're called, Vader Immortal, and they're fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Like Really, really fun. And you can go out in your yard and play, which is really nice because you don't have to have like
That
a
is cool.
room
That is nice.
for your VR setup. You can just go in the backyard or on the back deck or in the basement or wherever you have room. You can just move it there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really nice.
And if you break shit, it's not like, oh, I broke my $1,000 headset.
Well, I'm very excited about the new PlayStation VR.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what comes from it. The
Mhm.
games that people make for it.
Well, that too. It's like
yeah.
finally seeing the hardware there, and now seeing like, okay, the hardware up on both sides, both the visual side and also the GPU side in the PS5.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was some of the biggest concerns I had with like investing in console via VR in the past.
Yeah, the PlayStation VR was pretty impressive. They had some good games on there. You know, I think this is a huge step forward, like hardware wise.
Yeah, huge step forward, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
it makes me interesting because there's a game which I would love to see done in VR, but this was a game that came out in 2021 called Before Your Eyes. And it's it's an emotional first person narrative adventure, but the whole shtick is that it uses your webcam to track your eye movement. So the whole game is happening with your eye movement. So I would love to see what they do in VR with the eye movement tracking stuff because this game is like crazy good reviews. I would love to play it.
Cool.
Now I can because I have a webcam. Yeah, I'd love to see more stuff like that with eye tracking.
Yeah.
Like I blink and it blinks or it does whatever.
Mhm.
Making it more realistic to what my eyes see when
Yeah.
well, when I'm blurry.
Camera's having a
Yeah,
fit.
It's having a day.
Camera's
I don't
having a
know.
day today.
It's battling.
I think it's trying to focus on the stuffed animal behind you.
It
It's
is.
probably you. It's this
Yeah,
one.
I think that considers that a face.
Yeah.
It's because he has like a
Yeah.
Yep.
It's the smile. It's the smile that's doing it.
It's recognizing it as a
around.
face.
Just make it, put him back, but make his back of his head. That's the guy from no. Turn him so yeah.
Yeah, let's see if
See if it does it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see how
That's
it
the
goes.
guy from what's that anime called?
Full Metal Alchemist.
Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah.
Uh,
Ed's trying to steal the show.
Anything coming out in January that we're excited about, or is it just all hands on deck for February? Like what is
This
it?
week,
Well,
Yeah?
Monster Hunter Rise is coming to PC.
I wouldn't say
Okay.
we're excited about it.
Well, so I'm excited about it because like the Switch is great, right?
Yeah.
But the PC is better.
Eric's isn't here. You can tell us your real thoughts. Okay.
I'll be honest, I can't play Monster Hunter on the handheld device. My fingies can't fight the big bad monsters.
You gotta get that Hori Split Pad Pro. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I guess I do. So I always just play it docked
You got a
anyway,
Sonic the
and
Hedgehog one coming. Mega Man.
I use this controller for playing
Yeah.
on the Switch. So I'm so excited for it to come to PC. It's gonna have it's crazy FPS. The textures are better.
Oh, is it upgraded textures too?
Yeah, they upgraded everything.
Oh, nice. I thought it was
Not everything. Like I was watching a review today, and like some of the stuff, like the mud texture when like a monster splashed down, it's definitely still the Switch texture, right? So it's like it definitely looks better though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does. It definitely it's noticeably smoother.
Yeah.
And like a lot of people just don't have Switches. So a lot of my community weren't able to play Monster Hunter Rise because they didn't have a Switch, and then they were like,
How
"Oh, I
can
want to
that
get
be?
a
It
Switch."
sold like 700 billion.
I know, I was gonna say.
Well, if you're a mostly like PC gamer, you're probably not gonna get a Switch for the most part.
Holding out for that stream dick.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm gonna be excited to play with the guys that never were able to play Rise, and they're gonna be jumping in for the first time. So it's gonna be fun.
That's cool.
But I didn't put as much time into Rise as I did in World on the console. Because when it came to PC, World did. I was like, there's no way. I got like 1,000 hours in this game.
Yeah, well, that's my issue in general right now with Rise is that it just didn't feel like a game that I was going to dump a bunch of time into. So when the PC comes around, it's like, okay, nice to have high FPS. And if you've never played it before, great option to jump into it. But for me as a replay, I'm not interested in like re-leveling and all that.
See,
Also,
I am because
I actually do like the handheld experience. I have used
Oh, I can't do it. It's probably because I use bow. It's a lot more it's a
yeah.
lot more inputs all the time. I think Monster Hunter actually is what caused a lot of my hand pain. Because I'm just constantly dashing and putting different things on my arrows and jumping into the air and it's a lot happening at once.
Yeah.
I can't use a Switch with the Joy-Cons for more than like a hour before I start getting hand pain.
But you got the Hori split pad Hori Pro?
Yeah,
the professional's
Yeah, that
choice.
solves it. I accidentally got a Switch OLED, a SWOLED, over the Christmas break, and I immediately ordered another set of.
Did you say accidentally? You accidentally got one?
Yeah, accidentally.
How do you
accidentally
stumble
I was
into
on
a
Amazon
Switch OLED?
ordering some video games. I wanted to get the new Ninja Warriors or the 2019 Ninja Warriors game for the Switch, and so there's recommendations, and it said, "Hey, we got a Switch OLED, in stock." I was like,
Do you
"Well,
want
okay, I guess I do."
Add to cart.
So I ordered it, and it arrived. And honestly, I put like 10 hours on it because I just wanted to play Tales of Arise, like when it showed up. I played a little on Ninja Warriors. I played a little
10-hour review?
It's a Switch with a nicer screen.
That is the description.
It is significantly nicer. I don't know if it's $350 nicer though. Like if you already have a Switch, that's a tough sell because that is aging hardware.
Yeah.
Yep. Like that, the Switch's internals were not brand new and cutting edge when the Switch came out.
Yeah.
So and a lot of industry insiders are starting to kind of chirp about like what's next from Nintendo hardware wise, like with the speculation that 2024 is going to be like Nintendo's next thing. And like, who knows what that's going to be? Is that going to be a Switch 2 or is that going to be like something new and crazy from Nintendo?
Yeah. I feel like a majority of new cell phones are significantly better than a Switch.
Definitely more powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if the Switch OLED had a more powerful processor in it, like that you could get like 60 FPS from games you previously, kind of like a pro upgrade, from
would have been a Switch Pro
last generation.
But it ain't.
Yeah, that would have been a lot easier to swallow. $350.
But it's Nintendo.
There is.
So
yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited because like the gameplay in Rise is really fun.
Okay.
The actual gameplay is super fun.
It is.
So I get to
absolutely.
go through all of it again, and then the DLC is coming out in summer. So it gives me
is
like
it gonna come out time and date with the Switch?
Yeah.
Is there crossplay?
Oh, that's good.
No.
No way, right? No way. Okay.
That's good enough.
So I'm gonna be getting my character ready for the DLC in summer. To play
I really like what was the Switch something?
Grapple shot?
The grapple shot.
Is that what it was? Grapple shot?
What was that called?
Hook?
Was it called a grapple shot?
In World or in Rise? In Rise?
Yeah, in World. In Rise. There wasn't a grapple.
There was you could grapple onto monsters. But yeah.
No, I mean like the
action, the
like
wire bug.
Wire bug.
Wire bug. Yeah.
Wire bug.
Yeah.
I really like that. That was my favorite addition.
Yeah, just flying around all over the place.
Yeah, it just made everything feel so dynamic. And it made the world they made the world much more 3D, so you can really climb up shit. It was really fun.
I hope that continues in future Switch or future Monster Hunter.
I hope so, because the moves that you can do with the wire bug too are so fun. Just being able to move around like a crazy person and do cool moves in the air is just fun.
Yeah.
It definitely feels the calm before the storm, though. Right now, right? It's like the January feels like
it does.
Yeah. So, is there anything else in January aside from?
There's a lot of okay. Here's the release schedule. We have
no. The answer is no.
Astroneer on Switch, God of War on PC,
Played it.
Shadow Man Remastered. Nobody Saves the World. River City Girls. Paparazzi. Rainbow
River City
Six
Girls. That game came out years and years ago.
coming
I
out
mean,
on PS5.
A lot of
okay?
these are like
Oh.
re-releases on something
They are.
else.
A lot
another
of them are.
platform. Platform re-releases.
Pokemon Legends Arceus coming out.
There's my saving.
Never heard of it.
Baby Storm.
Poke what?
Baby Storm.
Baby Storm.
Circuit Superstars. And then the Uncharted collection.
So you're right,
Yeah.
Brian. There is absolutely nothing
No.
coming out in January. You basically have to just wait for
What
the
games did you
storm
miss
that's
in
going to happen
20?
in February.
Yeah, what games did you miss in 2021? It's a perfect time to play those.
Yeah, this is a catch-up month for sure. But February,
Yeah.
for God's sakes, is packed to
February
the gills.
says fuck you.
February 4th, Dying Light 2. If
Come
you like
at
Dying
me.
Light, guess what? New Dying Light.
Yeah. More Dying Light.
500 hours.
And then Sifu 4 days later.
Sifu.
And then like
Yeah.
a week and a half later, it's just bam. It's like uppercut, uppercut,
Elden
uppercut.
Ring. Destiny 2.
Witch Queen and
Witch Queen.
Horizon Zero
Horizon.
Dawn.
Horizon. Like every one of those games I want to play too. I want to play like for reals.
And
Like,
they
I
have
really wanna,
a
like,
lot
dig
of
into-
hours invested on each one.
Yeah, I
There's like 4 open world games.
yeah.
What
yeah.
are you going to do?
So I'm gonna be playing Lost Ark starting the
Oh,
8th.
Lost Ark.
think
I
it
forgot
Wait,
about
when's that come out?
That's in
February
February as well?
February.
Jesus Christ.
But I was like, at least I get 2 weeks of bliss of a new game
Oh,
that
at
I can
least.
just
Sure.
enjoy. Just 2 weeks. I get to just be like, oh, it's a new game. I can delve into it. Yay. And then from then on, I'm like just rushing constantly. Hurry up.
Yeah, I don't want to rush through these games, but I want to
Well, that's
enjoy
the thing.
them.
I don't want to either. I think with Destiny, I'm gonna try and just like get as much light as possible,
Mhm.
light level, and that's why I've said I'm taking 2 days of just Elden Ring, even though Witch Queen is out. I want to have like that little bit of dedicated time before I start doing the switching,
Yeah.
playing both.
Real quick, I just want to read off the list, right? I'm going to read off the list with the dates because
Let's
it
hear
is
it.
fucking crazy.
Yep.
Life is Strange Remastered Collection. That's a remastered collection. No big deal. February 1st. Dying Light 2, February 4th. Sifu, February 8th. Dynasty Warriors 9, February 15th. King of Fighters 15, which is a big game, February 17th. Horizon Forbidden West, February 18th. Destiny 2 Witch Queen, 22. Monarch, 22. Grid Legends, never heard of it, 24th. Elden Ring, 25th. Evil Dead, the game. There's a new Evil Dead game. I didn't even know about that. I'm a huge fucking Evil Dead fan. I'm definitely going to play that.
Wow.
It better have Bruce Campbell in it.
What's happening in March? Is March also crazy, or is it backing off?
Gran
in March?
Turismo 7, Babylon's Fall, Persona 4 Arena, Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin, Forspoken, Tiny Tina's
Forspoken's a big
Borderlands.
one.
Oh,
Tiny Tina's a big one
yeah, that's a big
too.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. Weird
I'm gonna be-
West, Grand Theft
and-
Auto 5.
Final Fantasy Origin is Neo. So I have like 700 hours in Neo 2. So obviously, I don't know.
Get to cloning.
Well, let's do- We're not even going to be finished with the February games by then.
Oh no.
Are we sure we need sleep? Like, are we positive about that?
Just gonna tape my eyes open
Sorry.
like a Sylvester in a cartoon.
It's unreal. This month is unreal. Like, I mean, it's perfect time to play something that you've been planning on catch up on
This month, right now,
Because-
is perfect.
right now.
Yeah.
Now. Yeah, because
Yeah.
next month it's gonna be like,
Yeah.
I mean, honestly though, most people are not gonna have this problem, right? They're gonna pick out the game they want to play the most. They're gonna buy that, and then when they're done with that, they'll
Well,
buy the next one. right?
Yeah, and also if whether or not you've been able to get a PS5 is going to help decide some of that as well. Like, are you going to want to play?
Is it? Why?
Well, maybe you want to play the latest Horizon on the new PS5, but you haven't got one yet, so that you can.
Yeah,
like,
but it's on PS4.
yeah, but you could wait. You could be like, oh, I'll maybe play during the summer. You know,
Yeah, that's true.
maybe you have a maybe you have a PC for Elden Ring, so there's that.
What are you guys gonna buy Elden Ring on?
I don't know.
I don't know yet. Yeah.
either.
I don't
Like I'm
know.
thinking I want the PlayStation 5 because most games that are coming out on the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, the Xbox 4, have been the loading times have been much faster on the PlayStation 5, which is going to be helpful to me.
Well, and also I think I'm leaning more towards PS5. Just because like the network tests, like a lot of these demos and network tests have been happening on these new consoles, which
Yeah.
kind of makes me feel that maybe they're like the primary thing it was created for, maybe.
Yeah.
Thinking about it.
Mm.
And like the network test ran at 60 FPS, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have a 3090 for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm not
'Cause
sure either.
I might want to stream part of Elden Ring as well, which
You
means
should, but you
I don't
won't.
want to move my Series X out of the living room. I want to keep.
Right? It's so heavy.
Well, I'm a like okay. Over the holiday, I moved the PS5 into the living room so Memes and I can play Destiny together, and she's been leveling up. And we've been actually grinding Nightfalls and stuff. And I'm to the
Cool.
point now where I'm like, "Oh, well, I don't really want to move that PS5 back out. I might want to try to get another PS5 if I can find one.
Definitely, I'm on the same train. I want to put a PS5 in my office because I don't want to take it out of my living room right now.
Right? I cannot be inconvenienced. I cannot.
I refuse.
Because then
to carry that thing the 40 steps it's gonna take.
well, it's the back, you know? You gotta bend over and get back behind the TV or something or
Tell me,
whatever.
brother, I got a bad back. Tell me about it, brother.
Yeah. I got get the
You gotta plug in the
cable.
cables. Like
Nope.
You gotta fish a power cord behind it because you don't want that hanging out in front, you know? Ugh.
the PlayStation 4 was the fucking worst because it had that
Oh
slant
my
to
god,
the back.
terrible.
So like you couldn't look over it and see where the cable's fucking plugged in.
Terrible.
I hated the PlayStation 4. That was the worst designed console ever.
So yeah, I'm thinking about buying another PS5. Specifically so I don't have to walk
For
a
Elden
PS5.
Ring. It's the Elden Ring console. Elden Ring gets its own console. You don't put anything on there but Elden Ring.
Hey,
Just
yeah,
Elden Ring.
speaking of, when are they going to do... Oh, yeah, I just realized why they're not doing console editions. Because they don't have enough consoles to sell. My
They'll
bad.
probably do like faceplates and stuff, right? Like a faceplate for the
Yeah,
Well,
I
now they've
suppose,
started
yeah.
doing their official face bleach. I would like to
Yeah.
see games.
They're
console.
$60.
They are $60. I was like, I want to get two. I want it to have like pink and purple, and I was like, never
Yeah, me
mind.
too.
Never
I was
mind.
thinking,
I won't get any.
well, as long as they're like not $30, like because I'm not buying $60 worth, like to get two. I'm not buying $60 worth of plastic to put on my PlayStation 5.
Buy a new controller?
Oh, wait, one
Get-
is $60.
Yeah.
Go and fuck yourself. I'm not ever paying that money for that.
Is
Ever.
it really 60
Never.
bucks for one plate?
It's
$60, not one plate, but one
One set?
one set of
Yeah.
plates. Yeah, two plastic pieces.
Yikes.
Yeah, I
That
was like,
Yeah.
is Nintendo level charging right there.
maybe if
Seriously.
you guys could see it like here next to me or something, I'd be more inclined to do it. But
Yeah.
Well, it's a
Like,
write-off at that point.
still there. So yeah, that's true. That's what I know.
Good point. All right, now I'm back. Maybe I want to get.
We're gonna see Briar on Thursday.
I
He's
like
got
that.
everything in the background. Everything he
I like
owns.
that blue and pink combo. You know? I know it's unpopular, but I actually like the look of the PlayStation 5. I think it's kind of cool looking.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm like indifferent about it. Yeah.
I forgot about my accidental Switch OLED. You know, you have to transfer your data and stuff over.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That sucks. That is terrible because it asks you, like, when you boot it up, okay, do you want to transfer your data from your old Switch? And you're like, yeah. Are you still planning on playing your old Switch? And you're like, yeah. So it's like, okay, never mind then. I'm like, wait a minute.
They're just like, well, you shouldn't. You shouldn't do that then.
It's like figure
So,
out
like-
your priorities. See you next time.
Yeah.
So it puts your profile on, and then you can go in and you can transfer your saves individually over one by one for each game, which takes, I would say, about 4 to 5 minutes per save. And you have to hit the button to like okay it on both switches. to make it happen. I was like, oh, really, Nintendo?
Ugh.
I might
don't-
send this thing back.
I don't remember having a problem with mine. My one that I bought in March of last year. That's
Did you transfer your data?
I felt like I did, but I kept the other one as the main console, so memes can play all the software that I buy on it. Yeah, the old one account, two.
And it didn't
consoles.
transfer over like how much time I'd played each game for. Which kind of I thought was nice little thing, like kind of record of how much time you put into.
Can't believe they did that to you, Briar. How could you, Nintendo?
I'm mad about it. Right? I haven't been this mad since the Ultra 64.
Oh man. Yeah, so January you got tons of free time, and February you have no time. That's the summary of this podcast.
I mean, no time in the best possible way, though.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it's
Let's
gonna
not
be.
forget
I was
that.
gonna say I'm so excited that every week we're gonna get on the show and you're gonna be like, "Did you find that cave by that side of that cliff?" And we'll go,
In which game?
No. Where is it? And it's gonna be us like, hold on, let me boot up Elden Ring. Tim, walk me through this. Where we go?
Are you talking about the cave under the cliff in Horizon or Destiny or Elden Ring?
Elden Ring. I don't have time for Horizon.
Oh, you're
not gonna play Horizon?
Nope. Kick to the curb.
Oh, I'm definitely playing Horizon.
I want to play Horizon.
Kick.
Yeah, I think my personal list is gonna be Sifu on February 8th. Horizon, because there's like 4 days before Destiny the Witch Queen comes out.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I can play most of that game in 4 days. More or less. Witch Queen, obviously, and then Elden Ring mixed with Witch Queen for a while after that.
Yeah, for months. Probably.
Yeah, I mean, technically, Witch Queen is a long-term experience. It's not like you're going to get all of it done in a couple days and then that's that.
But we do have a podcast where we cover it, so we kind of got it. Jump in there.
But in terms of pacing, it's like Elden Ring is kind of 50-50 for me on that. It's like I do want to experience all of it, but like I don't want to rush it. So I'm okay if I finish it within like 2 or 3 weeks or something like that.
I mean, it took me a year to beat Demon Souls, so
I'm doing Lost Ark on February 8th because you get early. It's February 11th, but you get early access if you have the Founders thing, which I do.
Lost Ark isn't even on my list. Why is that?
Don't know why it's not on there. I don't know. I'm doing Lost Ark, 2 weeks of Bliss, and then Witch Queen, and then Elden Ring, and then I'll play both of them at some point. Start mixing them together.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I think that's our first episode of 2022 SideQuest
And it's
edition.
2 p.m. Look at that.
Wow.
Oh, man. End it quick before
that's the show. Hopefully Eric's will be back next week. He wasn't feeling good today, so wish him well on Twitter.
Yeah, he hasn't actually left us permanently.
Yeah, he's
just kidding. We don't think.
He got so swole that he had to take a break from the swole.
He can no longer fit through the door that the microphone is in. So
he's got to wait to decompress.
Right now.
Yeah. All right, that's the episode. Thanks for watching. We really appreciate it. Shout out to our Patreon members and our Twitch subs for supporting the podcast on the feed. We appreciate everyone. Thanks for hanging out if you're live or listening in your car and all that stuff. And looking forward to talking more games. All right.
Yes.
All right. Bye. Everyone.
Listen to our other stuff. We talk about stuff.
Yeah, we got stuff and we got merch. And if you bought a shirt, thank you very much for buying a shirt.
Yeah, shirts definitely. And Retro Slot is tomorrow night. We'll be talking about Street Fighter 2 and Street Fighter 2 Turbo for the Super Nintendo.
Awesome. Bye, everyone.
Bye.